Hello friends, welcome. In this video I'm going to show you how we can add a Google Recaptcha on Laravel Project, and let's not a Laravel 10. First I'm going to create a project, so I'm going to start from scratch, and let's open the terminal, and I'm going to say Laravel new Recaptcha --dev to create the latest version, which is Laravel 10. Okay, then I'm going to install the Breeze package, and when we register I'm going to add the Recaptcha there. So let's copy this command to install the Laravel Breeze. So first we need to navigate in the Recaptcha and then paste that in. After that we need to run the PHP Artisan Breeze install. So let's do that. Let's select the Blade version. Let's say yes, and also yes for the best. Then we need to run the migrate. For that also we need to create the database. So let's create the database with a name Recaptcha based on the name of the project, and then run the PHP Artisan migrate. So let's say migrate, okay, then npm install and npm run dev. Okay. Now let's open the terminal, and I'm going to open this project in the localhost. So I'm going to say artisan serve, and let's open the project on the localhost 8000. Here we are. Now when we go to the register, I want to add the Recaptcha here. Okay, so if you search on the Google for Google Recaptcha version 3, and let's go to the developers.google Recaptcha admin console, and let's create a new register new site, and I'm going to say a Laravel example Recaptcha. Let's select the version 3, add a domain, on our case is localhost, also 127.0.0.1, and accept the terms, and let's say submit here. Now we have the site key and the secret key. Let's add them to the .env file. So let's open the project. I'm going to stop this first, and let's open the project with PHP Storm, and let's run now the artisan serve. Okay, let's close here. First, in the .env file we have the Recaptcha database, so if you don't have, go and create one, or just create a new database and pass the name here. Good. Next, let's go inside the inside the config services.php, and in here I'm going to copy this one, and let's paste down there and rename this to be Recaptcha. And what we have, so let's go back, so site key and secret key, and let's add the site key and also the secret key. We can add also the score, because the Recaptcha work with score, but I'm going to leave for now. And here now let's say Recaptcha site key. Okay, and let's copy this and paste to save some time. And here let's say secret key. Now let's add both of them on the .env file. So let's scroll down, and let's say down there. Also the secret key. Let's copy, close this one, and paste that in. Now let's copy the site key and paste it here, and also the secret key and paste it here. Okay, let's close this one as well. Now let's go to the client, see the client-side integration and see the server-side integration. For the client side, here we have the placement on your website. We have automatically and also programmatically. We're going to see both of them. Let's start with this first. So first we need to load the JavaScript API. And as I said, I want to add that on the register, and the register page is going to have the Guest layout. So on there, I'm going to add this API. So let's copy and let's navigate on the Guest blade.php, and here I'm going to paste that in. Then we need to add a callback function to handle the token. Now this one we need to add to the register blade, but as the script we need also to add on the Guest blade a stack here for scripts. So let's say stack for scripts, and let's close this and let's open now the register blade. And down there, so I'm going to close this. After the form, I'm going to push now the scripts here and paste scripts which have this function on submit and receive token here, and then call the document get element by ID demo form, and this demo form is our form. So let's add an ID here, and let's say register form, not demo form, register form or breeze form, what you want to call that, and copy that and paste it here. Okay, and it's going to submit that form. Okay, then the next thing is to add those attributes on the button. So let's copy the class Google Recaptcha. Data site key is the key we have on the .env file. Data callback on submit and data action. So let's copy them and okay, I'm going to zoom it just to see more clear. Okay, so on the button, I'm going to remove this class, which is margin left of 4, and add it here. So margin left 4. Now we have a Google Recaptcha here, data site, and here now we need to add the site key. We are going to get that from the config services dot recaptcha dot site key. Okay, on submit, and data action is going to be not submit, but it's going to be register. Okay, and that's it for the front end. Let's go to the back end, and here we need to make an API request to this URL with the parameters of secret, which is the secret key, response, which is required, and the user response token provided by Recaptcha, client-side integration, so the token we have here and we are going to send to the backend, and the remote IP, which is optional. So what I'm going to do, let's open the register controller, and on the store method I'm going to say here dump the request, dump the $request, just to see what we get here. And as you can see, we have protected by Recaptcha. Let's use the fake filter and let's say register here. Okay, requests, and yeah, we have this Google Recaptcha response, which has a token, and this token we need to add here to the response. So let's remove the dump, and I'm going to on the validate, I'm going to add also that Google Recaptcha response, which is going to be required. And to validate that, I'm going to use, so let's come here and go to the validation. And here I'm going to scroll down to the using closure. And here we can use the closure here, and the closure receives the attributes name, attributes value, and the fail callback that should be called if a validation fails. And let's do that. Let's copy this and paste right here. Let's import the closure. Okay, and now let's make that API call to this URL. So let's copy this URL and let's say right here $Google response, which is going to be equal with HTTP as form I'm going to use, and this is a post request because here we have method post, and pass in here the URL and the attributes, which are secret, and secret is the secret key, and we are going to get that from the config services .recaptcha .secret key. Okay, then we have the response, which is that token, and to get that token we can just add the value here, which is the token we can get from this input. So let's say $value, and the last one, which is not required, but let's add it, remote IP. And this remote IP I'm going to get from the request, chain in here the IP like this. And now let's say just dump the Google response, so $response, and also I'm going to say JSON, because it's going to, so here we have the API response, which is a JSON object and has success, which is true or false, timestamp, host name, and error codes. So let's see now. Let's go back, hard refresh, and let's fake filler here, register, and yeah, we have success to true, timestamp, host name, score. As you can see, you can use this score also to validate that, but I'm going to leave it, the score. And now in here I'm going to say if the response is a success response or is not success response, I'm going to fail. Otherwise, let's go and create the user. So let's say down right here on if statement, if not the Google Google response, and is a JSON response success. If we don't have a success response, fail. Otherwise, create the user. And with that, now if we go back and refresh, and let's use the fake filler, register, yeah, we are registered. Good. And let's close this, and let's come here and let's see how we can add programmatically. So we need to change this JavaScript API, and we need to add here also the reCAPTCHA site key. So let's copy that and let's open the Guest blade, and I'm going to comment this and add this one now. And in here we need to add the config services dot recaptcha dot site key. Okay, and let's close. Then we need to add this function called the Google Recaptcha execute on each action you wish to protect. So let's copy this and let's open the register blade. And here, instead of this script, I'm going to paste this one. So here we have a function onClick which receives an event and it's going to call the prevent and then Google Recaptcha ready. Here now we need the site key, so let's add the site key here, and we are going to get that from the config services dot recaptcha dot site key. Okay, action is going to be a register, and here we have a token, the same we get here, and we need to send the token immediately to your backend with the request. So to send the token, let's do something like this. Let's add here a hidden input. So I'm going to add a div with a hidden input type hidden, and give it a name, which is let's go to the register user controller and copy this, or you can change that name, but I'm going to copy this one. So where we have that name here, and also the ID with that name. Okay, and down there, so add your logic to submit to your backend server here. To submit the backend, we need just to copy this command and paste it here, but also we need to send that token. And so for that, we are going to call that input we created. So document get element by ID, and the ID of that element is Google-recaptcha-response. So let's paste that here, and the value is going to be equal with the token we have here. Okay, and then we are going to get the register form and submit that. Okay, so interpreting also the score, as you can see here, but I'm not going to do that, just adding the reCAPTCHA without the score. Now we don't have anything with for button. Using programmatically, as you can see, we have only the load the JavaScript and add called the Google Recaptcha execute. So now to call this on click, I'm going to add on the button. First, I'm going to say type button, not submit, which is by default. And then on click, I'm going to call this on click here and pass in the event. Okay, and now if I come here and refresh, let's go to the register. As you can see, we have reCAPTCHA again, fake filter, register, and yeah. Now how to test that? Okay, let's log out and let's see if I open the register user controller. Here when we have the response, which is a token, I'm going to say here null. And let's try. Again, refresh, go to the register and fake filter here. And we're redirected back. So we don't have success login, but we need to show the error. So this error, which is the attribute is invalid. And this error is for the Google Recaptcha response input. So to do that, on the register blade, here when we have the input hidden, let's copy this and paste it down there, and error get for this input. And let's come here, refresh, fake filler, register, and yeah, now we have the Google Recaptcha response is invalid. Okay, let's go to the register user controller and change that back to $sign value, and refresh, fake filler, register. Okay. Now the last thing I'm going to do here is to move this callback on the separate class. I'm going to create a rule class. So let's go here to the validation, and if we scroll up, we can create a validation by running the PHP artisan make rule, and it's going to create the class implementing the validation rule. So let's do that. Copy this command and let's open the terminal here, or let's open the terminal in here, and let's paste that in, and let's name it Recaptcha rule. Okay, let's close now. And as you can see, here we have the validate method, which is the same as the callback, has the attribute, value, and the closure. So attribute, value, and the closure. For that, just let's cut this, and let's move to the Recaptcha rule and paste that logic in here, import the HTTP facade, and we are okay. Let's close this. And now here I'm going to, instead of the closure, I'm going to say new Recaptcha. Okay, like this. Go back, refresh, log out. Let's register, fake filler, register, and we are okay. Let's log out. Let's close this, and let's close this one, and let's open the Recaptcha now rule, and instead of the value I'm going to say null, and let's refresh, register. First we need to, as you can see, we have the Recaptcha here, but let's use the fake filler, and now the Google Recaptcha response is invalid. Okay friends, that's it, how we can add the Google Recaptcha on the Laravel project. You can change the message here so on what you like, but I'm going to leave it as it is and just say if you like the video, subscribe to my channel, and see you in the next one. All the best. Thank you very much.